Max, what's up, man? How you doing from Arizona this morning?
Man, I'm great. How are you guys doing? It's always good to be on the Sports Nation, man.
It's great to have you, dude. We know you're the offensive coordinator at ALA in Queen Creek, Arizona, and Ty Detmer's head coach, and Dennis Pitt is the tight ends coach. So that staff's pretty loaded. How's the team looking, man?
Yeah, it's a blast. I mean, Ty's been awesome, obviously, working with him, and Dennis has been here for a couple years. So we have a blast. The kids are well coached. We got a good squad this year. We had our scrimmage last night, and I was proud of how the boys performed. I think we're where we need to be to start the season, so I'm excited.
I was kind of shocked that Jarom mentioned Dennis because, we don't really have time for him.
Well, not as a guest.
And so I'm wondering if you ever hear Dennis, upset that you're on or talk smack about Jarom.
Oh, he gets so mad. He gets pissed. Yeah, he can't stand Jaren, first of all. Like, he's just a total goober.
Join the club.
Yeah, and anytime he doesn't get invited on the show, he's definitely mad. So there are feelings hurt there.
Yeah.
Definitely feelings hurt.
Well, that's the idea. So that's good. Let's talk about Jaren Hall. So he's named the starter yesterday. What are your thoughts on Jaren being the guy?
I think it's a great decision. I really do. From what I've seen from Jaren in games and from scrimmages and practices and stuff, I think he's more than capable. He's obviously an athletic dude, and he can also make all the throws. So he's a big-time playmaker. I think it's the right choice. I think he's the guy that's going to be ready to take on this team and take them to the next level this year. So right move for sure. Now for Jaren, I would like to see him play smart, stay healthy, and kind of develop that leadership role and mentality as he goes into the starting position here and as the season moves forward. But man, I'm excited to have him, and I can't wait to see how he does.
So Max, there's obviously tons of potential with Jaren, and he only has a couple starts under his belt. But I want to know from your perspective, is it fair to have such high expectations with Jaren, even though he only has, a couple starts under his belt?
We're talking about BYU, right? I mean, yeah.
This is in the script. I had to ask the question. It was in the script.
Yeah, exactly. Look, everybody right now is going to be screaming national championship for all we know. That seemed to happen every year. The expectations are going to be high. You're the BYU quarterback, man. That's the greatest quarterback position in college football, in my opinion.
Yes.
And he's got to go perform because everybody expects him to. So, yeah, there's going to be pressure. There's going to be expectation. Jaren needs to put that aside and just focus on doing his job and getting his team ready to go. But expectations are always high for BYU.
Let's go, man. He's been waiting for this for a long time. He got 2 starts 2 years ago, had a hip injury, sat out last year. He saw what Zach Wilson could do, right? The opportunity as a BYU quarterback to make an impact and get a $23.5 million signing bonus. That's a reality for some guys, right? It's rare, but it's a reality. Starting against Arizona, that's always nice, right? You did that to open your season?
Yeah, that was my first start, Arizona at home. And I remember almost gagging coming out of the tunnel. I was so nervous going into that game, man. I thought I was going to throw up. But I think it's a good starting opponent for this team and for Jaren. I don't know how good U of A is going to be this year, but they're still a Pac-12 team, and BYU's got to come to play. So, I just remember that first game. Jaren's had some experience before. I mean, he's been there longer. He's played in games. I don't expect him to come out too nervous. And I expect him to play a good game and to execute and get a win in this first game. There's no reason why we shouldn't beat these guys.
Yeah, Arizona's certainly struggling, as new head coach in Jed Fish, and they're going to start 2 freshman quarterbacks. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, well, this should be a win. I thought that before, but 2 freshman quarterbacks always struggle. When it comes to this game with this offense, there's a lot of good weapons around Jaren. He doesn't have to win the game, which is exciting. Tyler Algier, 1,000-yard rusher. Isaac Rex, 12 touchdowns as a freshman. Incredible. And, of course, the Nakuas and Gunnar Romney and Dallin Holker's back and Lopini. It's pretty loaded, man. What kind of for you going into 07, we didn't know how good Dennis would be. We didn't know how good Harvey would be. We knew Austin was going to be a baller after his freshman year, but what's it like when you know you have weapons around you as the quarterback?
Well, the first thing I'll say is I knew they were going to be ballers. You know what I'm saying? Going into that season. And that actually gave me a lot of confidence going into the season and into that first game, even though I was nervous. But, I kind of had, if you want to call it a problem, it's a good problem. I had a lot of weapons too. I mean, you just named them off, going into that sophomore year, I had Austin, Mike Reed, Dennis, Andrew, Harvey, Manas, so Fui. So I had all these different weapons. Matt Allen was there. I could keep going on. But so the key for me was, can I distribute? Can I get everybody touches? Can I move the ball around so that we're not predictable? And Coach Doman would always come to me after the game, and he was proud of me. He goes, look, man, you had this many completions to 8 different receivers. If you do that and teams can't key on just Dennis or Austin or whoever, we're going to be tough to beat. And I just think that's the challenge for Jaren. He needs to spread the ball around, still go through his reads, do what the coaches asked him to do. But a lot of different guys should be touching the ball. And exactly what you said, Jaren doesn't have to win games on his own. He has the supporting cast to do it. Get the ball to those guys and let them go win. Make plays when you need to, because we all know that Jaren Hall is capable of that.
Well, we were talking about it just earlier before you came on, that Jaren felt that it was stressful, right? Like, I have all these weapons, and how am I going to, get these guys the ball? Have you ever had a time where maybe you were keying on Dennis or whoever, and other guys, came off the sideline or came into the huddle mad and pissed off and was like, look, man, we're not going to be friends no more if you don't give me the ball?
No, other than maybe Austin a couple times. But no, it was funny. Austin, like, we would break the huddle and run to the line, and based on whatever route he had, I could hear, he would yell, he'd be like, hey, 1-5, hey. I look over at him, he'd be like, hey, my way. He needs to come my way right here, So I did have to manage that. Michael Reed wanted the ball. Dennis was never a guy who was like, hey, man, give me the ball. He was pretty he did his job and made plays when the ball went his way. Harvey wasn't like that. So, my 2 outside receivers kind of had the big personalities, but they would never come to me and be like legit mad if they didn't get the ball. So what Jaren needs to do is do exactly what A-Rod's going to tell him to. Make the reads that A-Rod wants him to make, and distribute the ball to where that read's going to take you. And a lot of guys will touch the football.
Let's talk about the backup. So Baylor Romney's got a top 15 win from 2019 against Boise State as the backup. And then Jacob Conover listed as the 3rd string. He's the guy that told Alabama no. I mean, BYU's never had this situation with 3 guys like that ever. How do you keep 3 guys happy? Because the reality of the situation, Max, is 2 sophomores and a freshman. It doesn't feel like you can keep those 3 guys for 3 years.
Yeah, good luck, A-Rod. You know what I mean? Like, you've got 3 really good quarterbacks in the program. And in today's world in football, there's a chance you could lose one of them, right? Might transfer out, go to a different school. So, that just has to do with performance in this year and in next year to see how that works out. If somebody decides they leave because that's a better situation for them, then it happens. But at the end of the day, the coaching staff needs to play who they feel can help them win the most games and go from there. But it's a good problem to have. I mean, look at those 3 quarterbacks right there. All 3 of them are more than capable of being the starter going into this season. I like the pick with Jaren Hall, but you absolutely got 2 guys behind him that if need to play, we'll be ready to go.
Max, if your son was Jacob or Baylor right now, what's the timeline that you would give to him in regards to starting to looking into transferring?
That's a tough question.
I know.
I wouldn't look too. I would not. No, I know, and it's a good question. So I would not look too far in the future right now. I wouldn't do that. The season's about to start. So for Baylor and Jacob, focus on helping your team, getting yourself better every day, and being prepared just in case you have the opportunity to get a chance to go play and take advantage of it, right? And then see where we're at the end of the season, because you never know how a season's going to go. So I wouldn't put a timeline on it. I wouldn't be like, hey, in 2 years, if you're not the starter, we're out of here. That's, in my opinion, that's not the right way to look at it. You committed to a team, okay? You're there at BYU. Give BYU everything you have. And then if there's a circumstance that you feel like you need to leave, or you feel like the grass is greener, then you can take that. But I'm really big that, hey, you've committed here. Let's see this thing out and wait for your opportunity.
COVID certainly throws a wrinkle into this conversation because if Jaren Hall and Baylor Romney are juniors, it feels a little different. It's like, hey, Jacob, you're going to get 2 years, if not more, depending on what happens here. And every time we sit here, too, and project 2 years into the future, it's vastly different than what we think. It's never what we think, right? So we'll see what happens with these guys. It's a loaded quarterback room, which is awesome. Defensively for BYU, the Cougars have been a better defense than offense many times in the past. Last year, both sides were amazing. What's it like when you're a quarterback with a capable defense, which BYU hopes it has this year against a tougher schedule?
Yeah, that's a good point because if you think back to my sophomore year, a long time ago, 2007, our defense was unbelievable. And they allowed me to be able to make mistakes as a first-year starting quarterback, and they would make up for it. You know, I specifically remember times where I threw an interception, and a couple plays later, there's a sack fumble, or we get an interception, and the defense kind of bailed me out. So having that going in, especially when you got a new guy as your starter, it allows you to let him make some mistakes, at least early on in the season, and rely on your defense. Because sometimes, it takes the offense a little bit to get going. So that's always a comfort for a quarterback, knowing that if something does happen, if there's a mistake made, hey, come on, D, get out there, get that ball back for me. And it sounds like that's the type of defense they have this year. And I just remember my sophomore year, they bailed me out a bunch. With that group we had on defense.
Yeah, they were pretty awesome. Okay, let's finish with this. There's a Hall at quarterback. Does this mean the streak's going to end against Utah, maybe?
Yeah. How does it not? I don't know.
Let's go!
I don't know. It better. Can we just get this done so everybody can quit calling me a curse? Like, I'm getting sick of this. It's 12 years later, I'm still a curse around the dang place. So, if the Hall on the back of his jersey gives him a little something special, then great. I hope it does, but hopefully this is the year we can beat the Utes.
Okay, amen to that. And let's finish with this, actually. When I was in the room when you went off about Utah, what induced that emotion from you?
Well, I've talked about this before, but what a lot of people don't understand is the whole year leading up to that game. Okay, everybody knows what I've said about coming out of the locker room after the Utah game and my family huddled up and there's fights going on, people throwing stuff. So that's what made me more mad than anything. It's like, you can attack me, you can say anything you want about me. You go after my family, that's a different story. So for a whole year, people don't understand. Everywhere I went, I even had BYU fans saying, hey, we wear blue jerseys, right? Like, don't throw it to the red team. And so I had to deal with that for a year. So when that game finally came and we had the outcome and we won the game, it just kind of, I think, all came out of me. I had that frustration and that anger built up for so long that it just came out because I legitimately had developed a hate for the situation and for the way those fans had treated my family and the whole thing. So it just kind of came out, spur of the moment thing. And there was a lot of emotion behind it. And, that's how I felt in the moment. But, yeah, people don't understand. It was a year of agony for me, having to relive that game and talk to people about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. That makes total sense.
I didn't know that, man. I would have played harder. My bad.
It wouldn't have gone to OT if Brian would have picked off a pass earlier or something.
Something.
Yeah. Well, Max.
Yeah, that's all right. It happened how it was supposed to, Brian. You did your part, man. You were a baller, dude.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And we all, took those emotions different ways. I remember I got chocolate wasted after that game was over. It was amazing.
Yeah, all of Provo did, Brian.
All of Provo,
it was awesome, man.
You got what? Chocolate wasted?
Chocolate wasted, yep. Mm-hmm. I had chocolate milk. I had some Hershey's bars. I had some Snickers.
Hey, good for you, man. Each his own, man. If you're just like, I'm about ready to crush some Snickers after this game, then go get it, man. If that's the first game, then get it.
Like, Brian, you're not yourself. Why don't you grab a Snickers? Yeah. Max, we appreciate the time. Hopefully we're all having these crazy positive emotions again after, September 11th against Utah. But we'll see. Good luck, by the way, to ALA and all your first games next week.
Hey, thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me on. Anytime.
Awesome. Thanks, brother. Tell Dennis hi. We don't have time for him. Oh,
hi, Dennis.
He's gone. That was Max Hall, the winningest quarterback in BYU history.